Hello everyone, let's solve the free response questions from AP Pre-Calculus 2025, and this is the second question. Let's read through the problem. It looks like a long problem to read first, so let's understand the context of the problem first and then jump on to the questions. So the first question says the musician released a new song on the streaming service. This is an online entertainment source that allows users to play music on their computers and mobile devices. Several months later, the musicians began using an app, time t equal to 0, that counts the total number of plays. So if you skip reading through the problem, a lot of the context of the problem will be difficult for you to understand. So do not skip that. So it says at time equal to 0, we are trying to calculate the total number of plays. And one of the variables that we're using is the months after the musicians began using the app. And the second dependent variable is the total number of plays for the songs since its release, and it is given in thousands. So for example, they have given an example here. The table gives the total number of plays in thousands. At t equal to 0, the total number of plays is 25,000, but it has been highlighted as 25. So whenever you're writing down your answer, you will have to convert it to 1,000. At t equal to 0, at t equal to 2, the total number of plays was 30,000. At t equal to 4, the total number of plays was 34,000. Now this table gives us the information. The next part of the question says, the total number of plays for the song since it's released can be modeled by dt is at square plus bt plus c. So before I answer, you should know that this is a quadratic model, and it is giving the total number of plays dependent upon t, which is the number of months after it's released. Now let's start answering the problems once we have understood the question. It says, use the given table to write three equations that can be used to find the values for ABC. Now, if I have to do quadratic modeling for this problem, I will have to substitute the values of t as 0, 2, and 4, and that will give me my three equations. So what I'm going to do is substitute t as 0. That gives me the value of dt as 25. So the first equation is a times 0 square, b times 0 plus c. Then you get 30 is equal to a times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c. And the last equation with the third one that you get is 34 is equal to a times 4 squared plus b times 4 plus c. So you have your three simultaneous equations to solve for and compute for your values of ABC. But the first part just asks you to write down these equations, so you will have to present them like this. Now thinking about how would I solve for these values of ABC? This is a pair of simultaneous equations which can be computed just analytically on your own, but make effective use of your GDC or your calculator. The first equation just directly gives us C is 25. I could have substituted C as 25 in both the equations, got two simultaneous equations. But I can make use of my calculator, and let's see how would you effectively utilize your calculator to solve for this simultaneous equations. And remember, this is a three-pair simultaneous equations. Now, if you look at the equation button on your GDC, it will help you solve for any pair of simultaneous equations that you have, whether it's 2 or 3. So I have pressed on F1, which gives me simultaneous equations. And then because there are A, B, C, 3 number of unknowns, I will press on F2 for 3. Now, if you look at this feature of the calculator, it gives you the value of A, B, C, which are the coefficients of your simultaneous equation. For example, as the first simultaneous equation, I was getting 0 plus 0 times A plus 0 times B plus C is 25. So in this case, I can say the coefficients of the missing variables are 0, 0, 1, and the constant that it equals to is 25. So what will I be putting in here? I will be putting in my values as 0, 0, and 1. If I go on ahead, I will be putting here 1, and I'll be putting here 25 and pressing enter. My second equation was 4a plus 2b. So I should be putting 4 here, 2 here, and 1 here for c, and that equal to 30. For the third equation, it was 16, 4, and 1, and equal to a 34. I have input all my simultaneous equations correctly, which is very, very important. Once you do that, you will get the values of your A, B, and C correctly, which is negative 0.125, 2.75, and 25 is your value for C. You have to use these to give the values of ABC. So let's go back and see what are the values of ABC that we get. So for the second part of the question, we will get the values of A as negative 0.125, B as 2.75, and C as 25. I could have solved it analytically, but make effective use of your GDC is what I'd focus on. So what does my model look like? My model now looks like a quadratic model. dt is negative 0.125 t square plus 2.75 t plus 25. So I have found out my quadratic model. Now let's understand the B part of the question. Read the question effectively because it's as important. It says, using the given data to find the average rate of change of the total number of plays. How do you find out the rate of change? Let's try and understand. For the total number of plays for songs in 1000 per month from t equal to 0 to t equal to 4 months. So from the points 0, 25 to 4, 34, in the second B first part, we need to find out the average rate of change. So let's apply the formula for the average rate of change. What will we do? We have t equal to 0, t equal to 4. So we will be taking d of 4 minus d of 0 divided by 4 minus 0 for calculating the rate of change. So it will be 34 minus 25 divided by 4 minus 0. And when you solve this, it's going to give you 9 over 4, which is 2.25. So what is the average rate of change as a decimal approximation? It is 2.25. Do remember this formula for calculating the average rate of change. It becomes very, very important. Okay, let's move on to the second part now. Now read the problem carefully and understand. It says, use this average rate of change found in part B to estimate the total number of plays for the song in thousands for t is equal to 1.5 months. Show your work that leads to your answer. Now this part is important and it says I need to make an estimate for t equal to 1.5. If you just understand this question that it says if you have to estimate for t equal to 1.5, you could have substituted in your quadratic model, got your answer for t equal to 1.5. But that would have been absolutely incorrect because it says you have to use the average rate of change, which means that no matter whatever points I am taking on my graph, the rate of change for these values would stay the same as to what you found out in the first part, which was 2.25. So use that same rate of change, which will stay for any value, and then use the same formula that you know here for finding out the average rate of change. But now you have to find it out for 1.5. So how would it do? You would find it out by saying, if you're at d of 1.5, or let's not label it as a d of 1.5, we would just say whatever the value of y is for your 1.5. So we'd say y minus 25, I'm taking 2 points, minus 1.5 minus 0, and that rate of change is the same as 2.25. This would lead to your calculation as y minus 25 is 2.25 times 1.5. Now, when you take 25 to the other side, you'd get your value for y. Using your calculator, you can solve it. 25 plus 2.25 times 1.5 is going to give you the value as 28.375. Now, it is 28.375, but as I said in the start of the question, write your answer in thousands. So you could say 28,375 number of songs were played after 1.5 months of the release, right? Now, why did I not write it as d of value of 1.5? Because this is not the approximation that I have calculated from my quadratic function, but I have used the average rate of change to estimate the value of the number of plays, total number of plays of the song when the t was 1.5. That's why I cannot label it as d of 1.5. So you're using the concept of average rate of change, applying that same formula. Y will give you the number of total songs played, but you have approximated it using. So be careful of the notations also that you're using. So your answer must be 28,375 number of plays if after 1.5 months of the musician started playing the app, right? So this is a good question to know the average rate of change. Now let's read the third problem. What we were struggling with the notation, they have answered it here. What have they said in the question? They're saying, can you take 80 as the estimate that you're getting for the total number of plays every time? So instead of representing it with the D variable, because you're not estimating it using quadratic, you're calling it as A of T. So every estimate that you do using your average rate of change concept, you will label it as A of T to estimate it. And then using that, show that the average rate of change that you found in part B first, that is here, and from A.1.5 for A of 1.5, which you found out here, it can be shown that what estimate I'm getting from the average rate of change is less than D of 1.5. We will also understand this concept of how the average rate of change compares with the quadratic model graphically. Okay, but then we can first do it analytically. Now, what I found out for A of 1.5 from the previous question was 28.375. Now, how do I find it out for D? For D, I will have to just substitute my values in the quadratic model that I got in the first part, which was negative 0.125 t square. So I'll have to substitute 0.125 t square, which is now 1.5 square, 2.75 into 1.5 plus 25. Now I can make use of my calculator to do that. Let's go to our calculator, use the run mode to do that. We will substitute negative 0.125 times 1.5 square because it's a quadratic model plus 2.75 times 1.5 plus 25. So it's giving me an estimate of 28.843. So using decimal approximation, what have I got my value of D of 1.5 as? So A of 1.5 is coming out to be 28.375, while D of 1.5 is coming out to be, so instead of writing it this way as a subscript, you will have to write it as D of 1.5 is coming out to be 28.843. And I can see A of 1.5 is less than D of 1.5. But all of this was very analytical. Let's understand the concept graphically now. I'm going to share my Desmos screen so that you can see how would you be able to estimate it. And what we need to also do here is look at a line that approximates or the line that joins that average rate of change or that estimates the average rate of change. So before you understand, let's see how the quadratic model looks like. It's 0.125. I'm going to use x instead of t on my Desmos so that it can, estimate it, plus 2.75x plus 25. So that's what my quadratic model is looking like. My quadratic model starts from 0 and is showing me every estimate. But remember, I only have to look at it from 0 to 4. So wherever my point 4 is, there is where I need to calculate a line for. Now let's see, because this is the model dt. How would the model AT look like, which was the average rate of change? Now, you remember how we used the average rate of change formula? We said A of whatever the estimate is minus, we use the point 0, 25 to calculate the average rate of change, minus 25 divided by for t minus 0. So now instead of 1.5, I have replaced it with t to estimate it for any value if I want, because I want a model for it. And the rate of change was 2.25. So this means no matter what you're calculating for t for, where t lies between 0 to 4, you can write down the formula for average rate of change like this. And this will also give you your relationship for A. As you could multiply t to the other side, you will get AT is equal to 2.25t plus 25. I hope this is not very confusing and you've understood how you're getting your value for average rate of change or a linear relationship that shows the trend of the average rate of change. So this is a quadratic model for my value of dt, but average rate of change comes out to be a linear model. How will it look on the graph? Let's look at it by putting in the values. So it's 2.25x plus 25. Remember, x here represents t and y here represents the value of the number of plays. And if you look at it, it's like a secant line to my curve, quadratic curve between 0 to 5. So AT was basically the values of y for x lying between 0 to 4. So it's a secant line for the graph. And the question now they had asked that can you show graphically why the value of a of 1.5 was coming out to be less than d of 1.5? So how would you explain it in general with reference to the graph? You would say that the line that represents the trend of the linear relationship is a secant line to the quadratic graph. Now, if it's, you should use all of this terminology to obviously obtain greater marks. So you would say the line showing the trend of average rate of change is a secant line to the graph. And if it is a secant line to the graph, since your quadratic is concave down, right? Because your value for A is negative. As soon as your value for A in ax square plus bx plus c of a quadratic model is negative, if it's like it's a frown face, right? It's facing downwards. So A is less than 0, quadratic is facing downwards, it's concave down. If it's got concave down, we can say that the line joining these 2 points is a line which is below the graph of the quadratic, which means quadratic, which was represented by dt, is coming out to be greater than the value of at, which is a linear model. So show your working of how you found out this. Your quadratic model you've already found out in the previous parts, and then you will have to take a reference for the graph showing how the secant line is less than this value. I hope this makes sense to all of you how in reference to the graph, we are understanding the concept of the average rate of change as well as the quadratic. Do not confuse yourself that the estimate that they're asking you for calculating is with reference to quadratic, because they have very clearly mentioned you have to use average rate of change. And the average rate of change formula quite easily resembles the gradient formula, right? Okay. Now let's understand the C part. It says this is not related with the average rate of change, so we can move on to the quadratic now. It says this quadratic dt that you had got, the model was dt is negative 0.125 t square plus 2.75 t plus 25. Every quadratic function, if you look at, has one absolute minimum or one absolute maximum. Why is that so? Because if your parabola is facing downwards, it will have one absolute maximum value. If your parabola is facing upwards, it has one absolute minimum value. Now it says the minimum or the maximum can be used to determine the domain restriction for D. Based on the context of the problem, can you explain how that minimum or maximum can be used to determine a boundary for the domain of F, right? So what they're trying to use for the question is that they're trying to say that how does the absolute or minimum or maximum will affect my domain? Now, if I could use and say that, okay, my domain is still here or maybe till here, but how would this impact the domain? Okay. Let's try and look at the graph of the model because that's really important. Now I'll remove the average rate of change line. If I look at the graph of this model, it's a quadratic, concave down as we said. And please be careful that this domain you should look at will only start from 0. This is not a part of my domain of the function. Because remember that I can never have negative values, specifically for real life application questions for values of y. Moreover, keep in mind that with regard to the context of the problem, you have d of t, where t is the number of months, which obviously cannot be negative, and your dt is the total number of plays of that song. Okay, so let's keep that in mind and then look at the problem. Now, for sure, your domain has to start from t being greater than 0, right? If I look at it, now my absolute maximum minimum, how does it help me? Here I can see the minimum or the maximum for my point is 11, 40.25. 125. Now, what do you think? Can I only keep playing the songs up till 11 months? or will it go beyond? And what is the nature of the function showing? That from 0 to 11, the number of plays will keep increasing, but after 11 months, it will start decreasing. Now, the model here is not about the number of plays. The model here is about the total number of plays. So, for sure, the model has to increase up to 11 months. But don't you think the model has to increase even after 11 months? Because can the number of plays go downwards or show a decline trend after 11 months? Because what are we doing? It's like the total value. Total value can never decrease, right? The number of plays can for sure decrease, but if I talk about the total number of plays, okay, maybe there's no song being played. If it's a zero song being played or two songs being played or the number of songs reduced down. If in the first month I'm playing five songs, and after the 11th month, let's say I'm only playing two songs. But that still makes my total greater than the first month, right? So that is why the number of plays of the song, the total number of plays of the song specifically, can never decrease. So this value can never go down. Hence, I can say that the total number of plays even after the 11th month will keep increasing. So here, the maximum or the minimum is not giving me any restriction on the domain. It definitely gives me that t is supposed to be greater than 0, but we will make a comment on the nature of the graph that the quadratic after the maximum, you will have to mention that this is the maximum point. However, after 11 months, the total number of songs do not show a negative or a decreasing trend. They will keep increasing even though the pace of the increase in the total number of plays may reduce down, or the rate of change might reduce down. However, the total number of plays still has to keep increasing. I hope this makes sense. So that's how you will explain how that minimum or maximum can be used to determine a boundary for the domain of D. So D is supposed to be greater than or equal to 0 because you cannot have number of negative months, but you will say that after 11 months, your the point that is maximum is 11, 40.125. So up to 11 months, you're getting the maximum value, but it will not show a negative trend. This doesn't mean that the quadratic is not a fit for the model, but we have to rethink about it. So I hope you understood the problem. Some important key takeaways from this problem were how would you fit a quadratic model, which is very important. The average rate of change is important in the problem. Again, to use simultaneous equations using your GDC, these little skills of GDC you should always know. Average rate of change, and how can you model a linear relationship for the average rate of change, because average rate of change is like a secant line to the curve passing through from 0 to 4. And how we compared the average rate of change line, which was 80, with the quadratic model, showing that the quadratic model was greater than the average rate of change line, because in the graph also it looks like that. Again, we also explored in the C part the minimum or the maximum of the value. So I hope that makes sense for all of you. Thank you.